I'm back, and like I said, we're going to compare the Chemi Pure Blue to the Purigen. Now, I've heard good things about both, but I hear way more things about Chemi Pure Blue than I've heard about Purigen. You kind of got to go looking for the Purigen videos, where if you're just watching a nano tank video or a tank video, nine times out of ten, the reefer, the YouTuber, like tells you what they're running on their tank, and I always hear Chemi Pure Blue pop up, which I believe has some of the same media that the Purigen has in it, and some high grade activated carbon. So we're going to see it. The only thing is, my local fish store only has the nano, which you would think, oh, perfect, nano tank. Nah, this is more for like a pico tank. It's actually a little ridiculous, but it's all they had. And what I mean is, it comes in these packets here. These packets are rated for 5 gallons per pack. It comes with 5 of these packs, so you need to run two, and minimum, two minimum for pretty much any nano tank, and then forget even using this nano version for any tank larger than probably 20 gallons. You might as well forget it and go get a big container of the Chemi Pure Blue and put it in your own mesh sack. But like I said, my local fish store only had this, so my tank is a 13.5 fluval, but of course with the displacement in the tank, it only holds about 10 gallons. So I'm going to run 2 packs of these and see how it works. They say you can change it every 3 months, but honestly, that's going to vary between tanks and setups. So I got two in there. I'll probably run it for a month and see how it does, and then give my review on that. But that's the Purigen we're going to try along with the Phosguard. I am removing. That's the Chemi Pure Blue, sorry, and the Phosguard I'm going to run on the tank for a month and see how it works. And I am going to remove the Purigen just because I'm not a fan of it. I'll let it dry out and maybe use it again. But yeah, that's kind of like how I go ahead and do my water changes. It's a mess, but hey, you gotta do them. It helps your tank stay healthy. Um, so yeah, now I have another video coming out. I actually got some new corals, and I did a video on dipping that should be coming out pretty soon. Whenever I have time to edit that bad boy. Um, but I also got a new tank mate today for the clowns. Um, and this is going to be, if we can see, a fire tail.
What are you doing? Johnny, no! Come on! Flame on!
That's right, a Blenny. And we're going to see how he does in the tank. The fish store finally released them to sell. The cool thing about my local fish store is they don't put any fish out for the public to see until they're ready to go. So they actually have separate quarantine tanks in the back of their house, and the fish stay in there as long as they need to until they're 100% sure that the fish are healthy. Where every week, if my brother has a betta, and we go to the Petco and PetSmart for supplies and filters there. It's cheaper for him, and it's just easier, closer to his house. And they have new fish every week. It seems like every week, every other week, they have new fish at Petco, front and center, ready to go. And some people have success with buying fish from Petco, and some people haven't. I think I have too much time and too much money invested in my tank to just chance it from a high school kid working at Petco. Now, I'm not going to diss everybody at Petco because I know there is some knowledgeable people there. I actually had a friend that personally was working at Petco while she was going to college for being a veterinarian. So I'm not hating on the employees at Petco. I am hating on Petco and PetSmart as a whole company. I think their morals are a little off. But the employees I'm not really hating on. But nonetheless, I know they don't quarantine their fish. I just know they don't. They don't have a quarantine spot for the fish. Um, they have holding tanks momentarily, but they put them out front and center. They'll sell them to you the same day they come in. I know that for a fact. I know people that have bought fish same day that they come in off the trucks from whatever fish breeding farm that they come from. So not all local fish stores are any better, but I know my particular fish store. A lot of the guys are my friends. I've built a relationship with those guys. They let me go into the inner workings, let me see everything. They just don't tell me. They actually let me see the quarantine tanks. They let me see the cycling process for the live rock there. So I have a lot of confidence in my local fish store at Nebraska Aquatics. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, essentially I'm going to finish up this water change, get everything cleaned up. We're going to acclimate the fish when I come back, and then we'll see how everything looks. So I'll see you guys in a minute. What's going on, everybody? It is Midwest Reefer, and it's the next day. Earlier in the video, I was doing a water change and acclimating a new firefish to the tank. Well, I lost the firefish, immediately after I put it in there. I'm assuming because I put it in the tank, it went to the bottom and hid by the rocks, as it should. And I figured, you know what? It's just a little scared. I'll leave the lights off, go about my day, and come home later tonight, and maybe it'll be used to the tank or at least a little less scared. So, I went about my day, came back, had some friends over for, a barbecue. I said, hey, I got a new firefish. You guys got to check it out. Was nowhere to be found. So, a lot of things are going through my head. I'm like, oh, well, it's in the rocks, it's in that crevice, it's up under the cave. So I start looking, nothing. Start looking a little bit more. Now I'm definitely not seeing anything. Now I'm starting to kind of worry. I'm starting to panic.
Oh God, he looks like a dead fish. What?
So now I'm starting looking at places where it shouldn't be, like in the sump area. If you have a fluval 13.5, that back lid completely seals off the front half of the tank from going to the back half of the tank. So there's really no way that a fish can really jump into the back sump area. But I definitely pulled out all the equipment and looked anyway. Wasn't back there. So I started looking on the ground. I said, there's only one hole on the fluval, and it's right here on the top. And I was like, and I have about an inch and a half gap of no water before you even jump out that hole. I said, maybe he pulled a Houdini though, an escape artist over here. So I'm looking on the floor, I'm interrogating the dogs, nothing comes up. So I put a little food in the tank, thinking I can entice it out, nothing. Me and my friends go about eating our barbecue, the night dies down, lights go out, completely dark. I sneak up to the tank later on to see if I can maybe see him come out at night. Nothing, no fish anywhere. So I sleep on it. I'm like, I don't really know where this fish is. So I go to sleep, wake up today, which is today, and I pick up some of the rocks, look in there, can't find it, move the sand around, thinking maybe it buried itself, didn't show up. So I'm like, I don't know where this fish is, but I'm pretty upset. At the last minute, I decided to shine my flashlight one more time, and sure enough, he poked his head out of a little hole. Now, I didn't think my artificial rock had canyons like that in the rock that a fish could actually hide in the rock itself. I thought they would just hide in the little caves that I made myself. But apparently, the firefish is just the right size to actually hide inside this rock, and that's what it was doing. I started to feed my clownfish this morning. A little bit of food went by its cave, and it came out, and here it is. So this is the new firefish. He is doing well, and ever since he's gotten a little bit of food this morning, he has actually stayed out. He has already been around the clownfish. They could care less. They could care less that he's in here, and that's awesome because they've been in here together day one, and they've been in here for about 3 weeks with just them. So I didn't know how it was going to go with introducing a new fish, especially such a passive fish as this firefish. And just doing good. Also in the video, you've seen that I tried a new media. I got rid of the Purigen because I wasn't a big fan, and I put some Chemi Pure Blue in. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more time before I review it, but I can tell you right now off the bat, the Chemi Pure Blue is looking a lot better as far as results than the Purigen. And I also put the Phosguard in there made by Seachem. And I do have a lot of dieback of diatoms. I don't see really any diatoms on the sand, which normally they'd be on the sand already this morning again. Like I said, on my rocks, for some reason my camera makes the spots on my rocks look brown, but actually they're white, maybe like tan, but they're definitely not as dark brown as the camera makes it seem. But what are you going to do? Until I upgrade my camera, I guess this is how you guys will have to view it, unfortunately. Now, the water's a little murky just because I did move some rocks this morning trying to look for that firefish, but it's starting to calm down again already. And I think I'm really going to like this Chemi Pure Blue. I'm definitely going to like this new firefish. If you guys have any questions for me, definitely leave them down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your